Hi everyone, it's Alice here, one of the obstetrics and pelvic floor physios at Alchemy in Motion. Today I just wanted to talk to you about something that's really simple but commonly overlooked, and a lot of times something that's not really discussed in sort of the general public, and that is how to actually sit on the toilet properly to effectively empty your bladder but also your bowel. Now this is again something that comes up an awful lot in our consults here because people aren't actually doing it properly, and that's unfortunately of detriment to their bladder or bowel function. So what out in the bush, naturally, we're meant to be squatting on the ground to open our bowels and to wee for women, but obviously for men, just to open their bowels. So naturally and anatomically, that's how our bladder and our bowel and our system is actually designed to empty effectively. From the bowel perspective, the reason why we're meant to get into this squatting position is that it actually relaxes one of the primary pelvic floor muscles that's, when we're in an upright position, responsible for naturally kinking and bending the rectum, which creates something called the anorectal angle. So this actually creates this bend, and naturally it's a form of continence because in kinking that rectum, it actually tends to maintain the stool within the rectum. So the thing is, naturally, if you're just sitting on the toilet and you're sitting upright, okay, or you're scrunching over and hunching, that anorectal angle will actually remain. So the thing is, what we're meant to do when we're opening our bowels is to get our feet up onto something, whether that be some books or some toilet rolls or even a footstool, so that your knees are higher than your hips. And then from the hips, I'm actually wanting you to bend forward. So your back is remaining quite straight. You can rest your elbows or your hands on your knees in a comfortable position and just gently allowing your tummy to relax. Now, from a bladder perspective, getting into this position can also be really beneficial because it can actually alter the position of the bladder neck. If also there's a prolapse, a mild prolapse present, it can assist with almost emptying out any sort of pocketing effect and pooling effect that the urine's actually doing within that prolapse or within that pocket. So actually leaning forward in this position when you're weeing can also be really beneficial to empty out your bladder a lot more effectively. Now, once for the bladder and the bowel, once you feel like you've finished and you've emptied properly, don't quite trust that. So what I'd like you to do is actually rock around from side to side and rock forwards and backwards. What this does is it essentially just sloshes everything around internally, then assume that leaning forward position again in the relaxed sort of tummy position. And you might find that you may empty a little bit more urine and or stool. So the thing is, it's a really good thing to go again. So either if you wipe and try and go again, or just simply rock around and then lean forward again, it's a really wonderful practice to be getting into. And from a bladder perspective, we call that double voiding. So it's a really wonderful thing to do for your bladder, but also for your bowel. Now, the worst possible thing you can be doing to empty your bladder and bowel is by actually pushing and straining and bearing down, as this not only weakens the pelvic floor, but it can actually start to impact on the bladder and bowel's natural sort of propulsion and its natural mechanism to empty. So if you have any questions regarding your bladder or bowel function or health, please don't hesitate to give us a call. We'll see you soon.